सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। What is the difference between Chit and Turiya? Whose question is this? Yours. Chit, consciousness, is called Turiya because it is not limited by any one of the three states of experience. Turiya is a Sanskrit word which has got the meaning Chaturtham, the fourth. So, Atma has got four aspects for communication purpose. One is called Vishwa, when Atma is manifesting through the waking state. It is called Tejasa, when it is manifesting through the dream state. And it is called Prajna, when manifesting through the sleep state. So, Atma is in and through all of them, but not limited by any one of them. That true nature of Atma, which is consciousness, is called Turiyam. So, Atma is Chit, and Chit is called Turiyam because it is not confined to any one of these three, in and through all the three. So, Chit is Turiyam. Chit does not mean Turiyam, Chit is Turiyam. Is it clear? Same. Chit. I don't know, I am making it complicated. So, Chit is called Turiyam. Turiyam is the fourth because Chit by itself is not Vishwa, Tejas and Prajna. Since it is not Vishwa, Tejas and Prajna, therefore it is called Turiyam, the fourth one. So, Chit alone is Turiyam. So, answering to your question, is there any difference between Chit and Turiyam? No difference. But the word Chit is conveying some idea. Turiyam conveys another idea. But both of them are referring to the same entity. Like Sita Pati and Dasharatha Nandana. The meaning of Sita Pati is different. Meaning of Dasharatha Nandana means the son of Dasharatha different. But both of them are referring to the same entity. Similarly, Chit, word meaning is different. Turiya, word meaning is different. But both of them are referring to the same reality called Atma. So, Atma is called Chit because it is self-revealing and reveals everything. Atma is self-revealing and revealing everything else. Therefore, it is called Chit, and Atma is called Turiyam because it is not confined to these three states. Is it clear? Okay. Because Chit and Turiya are regarded to as Sakshi in different places. Yes, it can be called Sakshi. It is called Sakshi when it is seen to be the witness of the mind. That also Sakshi is a relative status. Sakshi, it is called because it is illumining the mind. As the illuminator of the mind, it is called Sakshi. By itself, it is what? Chinmatraha, Chit, pure consciousness. So, pure consciousness obtaining in the mind as the illuminator of the mind is called Sakshi. Like a person doing the job of supervising, therefore he is called what? Supervisor. Supervisorness is not intrinsic to the person. At home he is not supervised. In fact, he is supervised. There is another supervisor. So, but he is supervisor in the factory. Clear? So, similarly, consciousness is called the the sakshi with reference to the mind. Okay. There is a long question. Whose question is this? Can you ask me after lunch? Yeah. Okay. Now we'll enter into the text. Now I suppose we have got the tune, so we'll chant together. Mano buddhyahanka na cha shrotra jivve na cha grana netre na cha vyoma bhumil चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम न च प्राण संज्ञो न वै पंचवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पंचकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चोपस्थपायु चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम न मे द्वेषरागौ न मे लोभमोहौ मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. So we are seeing these verses which are negating what I am not. Means it is correcting the mistake. All the negations done are in the area of mistake alone. If mistake is not there, negation, correction is not required. If mistake is done, then only correction is required. Therefore, in this whole stotra, it is not told, you are not a dog, you are not a dog, you are not a monkey, you are not a donkey. It is not told. When nobody thinks like this. Once in a while we may think, but generally we don't think. So, since this mistake is not there, universal mistake is not there, therefore negation is not done. You are not a pot, you are not a book. No. Prasaktasya eva pratishedaha. Something which is possible to commit a mistake, then only it is negated. And we said, I am not the gross body, vyoma, bhumi, tejaha. I am not the subtle body consisting of the mind, consisting of the organs, consisting of prana, consisting of organs of action. I am not sthula shariram, I am not sukshma shariram. But some people will say, just I hear not mentioned, but what about karana shariram, they will say. Swamiji, am I karana shariram? No. Karana shariram is consisting of ignorance and certain samskaras. You are someone who is aware of your ignorance. If I ask you, do you know Chinese? Most of you may not be knowing Chinese. So you say what? I don't know Chinese. Means I have ignorance of Chinese. Do you know that you don't know Chinese or not? You know it. So you are someone who are aware of the ignorance of Chinese. Do you know the Sanskrit grammar? Many of you will say, no, I don't even read alphabets. So you are aware of that ignorance. And what you are aware of, you are different from that. You are not that. Therefore, ignorance representing karana sharira also you are not. Don't identify too much with ignorance. I am a foolish, I am a fool. You know. Some people before asking the question they will say, Swamiji, I will ask question, it is a foolish question, but I will ask. I said, let me decide, And one thing I tell you, I don't consider any question to be silly question. That is the principle I have followed in my life, and really I mean it. Any question is valid from the platform on which a person is standing. From that platform it is valid. Therefore, you, as a what is called a mature person, you should never say this is a silly question. Because already person is feeling low because of having questions, and now you make him feel bad about it. So you will not hear this word, this type of expression from me. Those you can ask the students. I don't say it is a silly question. So too much identification with the ignorance and lack of knowledge, ignorance and mistakes and all. Mistakes you be aware of. Correct the mistakes. But don't identify so much with the mistakes. I am Swamiji, I always do mistakes. Especially if you have where a perfectionist spouse, you are likely to develop this complex. What? I can never do anything right. Because whatever you do, your spouse will say, this is not correct, this is not correct. Very unfortunate, some papam is exhausted. If you have that perfectionist spouse, I am using the neutral word. But I have seen both sides. Perfectionist husband also I know of, and perfectionist wife also I know. They really give complex to their spouse. So let us not have such complexes. Human being can commit mistake. Human is to err. So this is how we are. And thus, all mistakes which are there are being corrected. And in the last class we were seeing, na vak pani padau na chopastha payuhu, and before that all panchavayu. And here we made a note, important note. Body, I am not. I am not the body. But body does not exist apart from me. I am not the body, but the body does not exist apart from me. Like water says, I am not the wave, but the wave does not exist apart from me. Or the gold says, I am not a chain, I am not a bangle, but chain and bangle do not exist apart from me. This particular addition, this particular completion of the teaching, we have to keep in mind, otherwise there will be disconnect. You will not be a realist. In fact, for you, the world will be too much. And therefore we say, body will be too much. Therefore you say, I am not the body, but the body does not exist apart from me. I am Satchid Atma, from which nothing can exist apart from me. Then, what to talk about the body, which is very close. So, body does not exist apart from me, even though I am not the body. So, whole journey is that you disidentify first from the body-mind-sense complex, and then give proper place to the body-mind-sense complex, that it does not exist apart from me. So here, all organs, all the facets of the mind, all pranas, they are not separate from me, even though I am not any one of them. Then the last one we were seeing, Name Dvesha Ragho. For me, in me, there is no dvesha, hatred, raga. There is no raga for me. Raga means attachment, likes or attachment. Lobha moho, na. For me, lobha and moha are not there. Madaha, arrogance. Matsarya bhava, this quality of jealousy, envy, they also are not there for me. But some people say, Swamiji, but they do occur in the mind. I like something, so I am a liker. Why do you say likes are not there for me? Then the vision of Shastra is that all of them are the modes of the mind. They are attributes of the mind. You are Sakshi of the mind which has got all of them. I am not having any one of them as my attributes. Drishya dharmaha, drishya dharmaha. All of them are objectifiable. Do you know that you have liking for something or someone or not? You know it. You know that you hate somebody. So you are aware of your hatred. You are aware of your greed. You are aware of your confusion. Even though you try to look very clear, but inside you are confused. Similarly, you are aware of your jealousy. So all of them are what? Objectifiable qualities. Drishya dharmaha, drishyamanaha dharmaha. All of them are objectifiable. And objectifiable attributes belong to objectifiable objects. The white color I am aware of belongs to the object which is the book. And thus all of them are not the qualities of myself, all of them are the modes of the mind. I am Sakshi of the mind which has got all these qualities. Like I am Sakshi, I am knower of this book which has got white color, which has got particular size. I am aware of the car which has got some positive features and some problems. Car has got the positive features and some problems. I am the one who is aware of those features. I am aware of the car which has got those features. So all raga, dvesha, lobha, moha, all of them are not my attributes. And we make a note here that I can appreciate this, that all these kama, this dvesha raga can also be called kama krodha. I can appreciate they do not belong to me only when relatively they have been neutralized. They are diluted. When you are very, very angry, at that time somebody says, anger is not your quality, you will become more angry. That time you cannot appreciate. And therefore, to appreciate that all of them do not belong to me, I have to reduce them to very great extent. You reduce them, and afterwards if they are resurfacing or surfacing, that time you appreciate name dvesha rago. So first of all, we need to neutralize them, dilute them. And to dilute them, we have to understand them. So let us understand what is dveshaha, hatred. When I look upon something or someone to be source of my dukkha, then that object becomes the object of hatred. So hatred means what? Looking upon something as the source of dukkha, pain. This fellow will create problem. This particular object, if I eat, it will create problem. This particular season will create problem for me. So whatever you are looking upon as the source of problem, source of dukkha, that becomes the object of your hatred. You don't dislike something which gives you joy. Yeah, sometimes Swamiji, I hate this rasagulla. Why? Because Swamiji, I see, then I feel like having and I am not supposed to have. So really speaking, you are not disliking rasgulla. You are disliking your tempting situation. So you hate something which is seen by you as the source of dukkha, source of suffering. And raga means this attachment, emotional dependence. So raga is a frame of mind, otherwise called kama, where I am seeing something as the source of happiness. You always desire for something which is seen as the source of happiness. You don't say that, no, no, let me have some dukkha. No. Even if you say, let me have dukkha, you say that. In fact, Kunti told this to Bhagavan. Bhagavan, vipadaha me santu. Let me have some dukkha. Nobody generally tells, but she told. But afterwards she tells, vipadaha me santu. Let there be the problems so that you will come to rescue us and I can have your darshanam. So really speaking, it is not she is interested in dukkha. She is interested in having Bhagavan's presence, which is giving her what? Sukha. Happiness. So, what I look upon as the source of happiness becomes the object of desire. And after attaining it, there is attachment. So, the word raga has got both the meanings. One is desire and other is attachment. Both are referred to by the word raga here. And what is attachment? Attachment means emotional dependence upon the object or a person. Like you are emotionally dependent upon your spouse, children, relatives, some bank balance. And this dependence, emotional dependence, which is called raga, is characterized by the feeling of anxiety. I may lose it. That's why many spouses, they are very possessive about their spouse. Why? Because there is a fear. I may lose her, I may lose him. That fear is there. I may lose him, I may lose her. Why that fear is there? Because person thinks, I really don't deserve him or her. Somehow I have got him or her. Therefore, if something happens, I may lose him, I may lose her. That fear will be there. When attachment is there, that fear will be there. Anxiety will be there. I am telling that what are the symptoms of attachment. Attachment is characterized by this anxiety to lose, fear of losing. Attachment is characterized by tendency to control. I want to control. When you are attached to somebody, you want to control that person. You want to control that situation. And generally what happens, you try to control and other person doesn't want to remain in control. And therefore what happens? Anger, frustration. In fact, more you try to control someone, more that person would like to be out of control. That person doesn't understand. And therefore, this emotional dependence called raga, attachment, is generally ending up in frustration, misery. So, emotional attachment gives dukkha. But Swamiji, we are told that we should love everybody. Yes, love is different from attachment. Love is the emotion characterized by appreciation of the person or a situation or the thing, care, and not expecting anything in return. These are the three elements: appreciation, connection, and not expecting anything in return. And one more also we can add, care. When you love someone, you care. You care without control. Generally what happens, in the name of care, we start controlling people. And that is the sign of attachment. The difference between attachment and love is this. In attachment, there is a controlling tendency. In love, there is readiness to give freedom. And since you give freedom, no controlling, you just appreciate the person or the object the way it is. I will give you the example. You appreciate the flower. You care for the flower. You give water, whatever plant you give water. appreciate. And you do not want to control that you put some, what is called, jali, some net, etc. You don't do that. Nobody should look at my flower. You don't do that. You care for the flowers, you appreciate it, you feel connected emotionally, but there is no control. Similarly, for the person, you just appreciate the person the way he or she is. You like the person, you appreciate the person for what he or she is, not that for what he or she should be. And you care for the person without control. Sometimes what happens, if I am giving care and if other person is not ready to receive my care, I feel hurt. Then it is a control. I give my care, and if other person doesn't need my care, all right. I don't take it to my heart to see I did this and he did not use it. It doesn't matter. People are so controlling. When they give me something, they say, Swamiji, you should use, you take it to your place, don't keep it here and all this. That's a control. In love, you give freedom. In love, there is no control, there is no anxiety that it will abandon me. No. I just keep loving that person. I keep caring for the person. And therefore, love brings joy. Attachment brings misery. Love comes out of strength. Attachment comes out of weakness. And therefore, here what is said, raga is the attachment. And when raga is there, the dvesha, krodha will be there. Hatred and anger will be there. So, raga is kama, dvesha is krodha. And most of the people have got the problem of anger. In fact, there are workshops how to control anger. And that person gets angry because enough people did not come. So that's what Puja Swamiji analyzes anger very well. He says, why anger comes? Anger is because of our inability to handle our pain. Anger is a reaction to our pain, which was there in our unconscious, which was lodged in our unconscious. So pain is a reaction based on anger is our reaction to the pain. We are not able to handle that pain which we have. So that inability to handle our pain gets expressed in the form of anger. So anger is because of overwhelming pain, and overwhelming pain is there because of non-fulfillment of some desire, non-fulfillment of some insistence. I wanted something to happen, it did not happen. Person is not behaving the way I insisted on to behave. I insisted that person should sit like this, talk like this. He doesn't do that. I expected my spouse or my children should get up on time. It doesn't get up. My wife doesn't get ready. Takes so much time, delayed. Angry. So everybody has got some insistence. That is how people should be. That is how the object should be. That is how situation should be. And my insistence are not respected by everybody. I insist, but people say, I don't care what you insist. I will live my life the way I want. Many women have got this issue. When they start coming to Vedanta class and they hear that every grihastha is supposed to do Sandhya Vandanam, then now she starts insisting on her husband that you should do Sandhya Vandanam, you should do Sandhya Vandanam. And husband said, you mind your business. You are going to Vedanta class, I am not going. So one lady was telling me, Swamiji, we have this conflict about this. I said, you drop your insistence. I specifically told, even though I am a Vedanta teacher, I wish people to do Sandhya Vandanam. But I said, see, you have tried so many times and it is becoming an area of conflict. I said, you drop your insistence. And she told her husband that my Swamiji has told that I should not insist, so I will not insist. That husband sent me thanks. I receive thanks like this. So, if you insist, and people will not respect your insistence, therefore, what will happen? Anger. So, you see that desire is there, not fulfilled, causes pain, and that pain leads to anger. You will never be angry because you are happy. Does it happen? Swamiji, I was so happy that I got angry on that person. Then you have got some psychological issue, psychic issue. You get angry because of some pain only. And pain comes because of non-fulfillment of your desire or insistence. And therefore, Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Kamat krodho bhi jayate. From kama, krodha is born. In fact, kama obstructed becomes krodha. Kama eshaha, krodha eshaha, rajoguna samudbhavaha. So when you have got anger, that time if you are not able to analyze, okay, but later on you analyze that why this anger came? Because of pain. Why pain came? Because of non-fulfillment of my desire. Therefore, if you want to be free from this krodha, what is to be done? Reduce your insistence. Reduce your resistance. Puja Swamiji used to say, give freedom to people to be what they are. Give them freedom and you will get freedom. That's a very good thing. Give people freedom to be what they are and you get freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from the anxiety. Freedom from frustration. That fellow doesn't listen to me. I am so angry. So you will be free from anger. Learn to give freedom to people to be what they are. And you analyze this. You also want freedom or not? Do you want people around you should keep on insisting, be like this, be like this, be like this? You don't like anyone to control you, but you want to control others. You should see the contradiction, discrepancy, that you want to control others, but you don't want to be controlled by others. So what we learn to do is reduce our control. Reducing control doesn't mean reducing our care. People think that care and control go together. Not necessary. We can continue to care without controlling. So how to reduce anger? By reducing our insistence and resistance. Resistance to what? Resistance to something that has happened. Insistence is related to the future. Resistance is related to the past. Why he did like this? Resistance, anger. Insistence will lead to fear and anger. Therefore, we learn to reduce dvesha and raga. Lobha. Lobha means greed. This is a very common problem nowadays people have. Swamiji, I want to retire, but I should have this much money. In fact, a Puja Swamiji used to say that when he used to go to the US and meet some people, that person will say, Swamiji, within 3 years I am going to retire. I have already fixed one target of amount, and when that amount is I collect, then I will retire. Swamiji goes to the same place after 5 years and that fellow is there. Why? He said, Swamiji, I have to raise my target. Perhaps it may have some practical consideration. But sometimes we have got thoughtless desire. Means without having basis, I want to have this, I want to have this. What will you do with that? One person I told, he was having some financial concern. I said, you have enough for taking care of your wife, children. And, Swamiji is there. Then why are you worried? In fact, I said, I tell you that you will never be on the roadside. One lady I told that I am giving you guarantee you will never have financial problem. Why? Because person has already enough. Person has to let go of that unreasonable concern. Lobha has got that meaning, that want to have more without any particular valid consideration. Sometimes we collect things for our ego boosting. You require what? One house to stay. But no, one more house I should have in Kodaikanal. Hey, when will you go Kodaikanal? Every year, 4 days I will go. For that 1 year, why you should have a house there? One house I should have in North India. One house I should have in my village. Hey, you can hire a place. What a big deal. But one house is required. As a grihastha, you have to have a griham. But sometimes thoughtless. So it is lobha. How do we get rid of this lobha? By learning to surrender to Ishvara. Of course, reasonable amount we definitely have. As a grihastha, you need to have. As a sannyasi, I can say, even if I don't have, this society will take care. But as a grihastha, you need to have some reasonable amount. But whatever you want to have, make sure you have got genuine basis to have that. And you learn to surrender that Bhagavan has taken care of me so far, there is no reason he will not take care. So lobha you can get rid of. Moha means wrong priorities. Because of getting what is called influenced by the people around. So even though we didn't want something, but our neighbor tells, then you don't have this car, then we have. Then I drop my all other good things I was doing and I am after collecting money to have the car. So slowly we get rid of such influence and learn to have satsanga, then moha will be reduced. Madaha, arrogance. Pujya Swamiji nicely said, arrogance is the height of ignorance. Arrogance is a height of ignorance. Why? Why do you say so? Because really speaking, you have no basis to have arrogance. Everything is given to you. You say, I got PhD degree. But for getting PhD degree, these education institutes are given to you, teachers are given to you, the infrastructure is given to you, this body is given to you, mind is given to you, this buddhi is given to you. Everything is given to you. So what is the basis for you to be arrogant? Can you claim anything as your exclusive creation, that this is Swamiji, I did it? Nobody has contributed to it. Is there anything? Sole authorship, can you claim regarding anything? Nothing. Somebody says, Swamiji, at least I have created one thing. What? Confusion. For that nobody. No, for confusion also you require buddhi. That buddhi is given to you. So you have not created even confusion independently. So when you think about the contribution of the people, the grace of Ishvara and all of them, then you will not have this madaha. So I keep appreciating that everything is given to me. Always having this feeling, I am blessed, blessed by Ishvara, blessed by the teachers, blessed by parents, blessed by so many people. And thus, madaha can be taken care of. Whenever madaha comes, you remember this, it is a height of ignorance. I am ignorance of the factors that have contributed to attain whatever I have attained. And therefore, when you see this, madaha will be reduced. In fact, Pujya Swamiji says nicely here, he said, the superiority complex is really not there. As a jiva, you always have inferiority complex only. The superiority complex is a mask, very thick mask on your inferiority complex. Inferiority complex inside is so deep, so intense that you want to cover it. And you put a mask of superiority complex. And therefore, whenever superiority is there, you have to dig deep and see that what is the inferiority complex bothering you. Madaha, Matsarya Bhavaha. Matsarya Bhava means jealousy. There is a nice definition. Parasya utkarsham drishtva jayamanaha santapaha matsaryam. Means what? Uncomfortable feeling seeing the progress of others. That is matsarya. And that comes because of inferiority complex. So, I learn to accept myself as I am. How do I learn? By seeing this fact repeatedly. I am blessed to be what I am. Really, if you analyze, you have so many reasons to feel blessed, but you are not able to see. If you see how many ways you are blessed, you will not have that deep inferiority complex which leads to Matsarya. So we handle all these issues in relative sense, and then with reference to the past, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, I appreciate all of them were the modes of the mind. I am Sakshi of the mind which has all of them. And thus, I am objective about what had happened, and even now sometimes some anger comes. I try to reduce the anger at the mental level itself, but whatever anger happened, with regard to that, I develop objectivity by saying that it is a quality of the mind. I am not angry. I am not ragi. I am not dveshi. I am not lobhi. I am not mohita. I am not matsaryavan. All of them are modes of the mind. Then the next one he says, na dharmaha, na cha arthaha, na kamaha, na mokshaha. These four are called purusharthaha. In fact, Vedanta talk starts with this purushartha only. When we start Tattva Bodha, the first topic taught is this purushartha. What is purushartha? In Indian language, purushartha word is generally understood as effort, free will. Effort and free will, they call it purushartha. Swamiji, we have to do purushartha. कोई भी चीज प्राप्त करने के लिए पुरुषार्थ करना चाहिए. So generally, purushartha word is understood as effort. But here when we use the word purushartha, it doesn't mean effort. It refers to the goal. Purushaihi arthyate prarthyate iti purusharthaha. Purusharthaha, the human goal. And in Shastra, they are divided into four. One is called artha. Artha means security. Anything from which I am seeking security is called artha. For example, money, power, real estate. From whatever I am seeking, this security is called artha. Kamaha means sense pleasure. After taking care of security, the next thing, what do I want? Some sense pleasure. You have come home from your work, today's work is over, artha part is taken care of. Now what do you want? You want to watch some TV, some snacks, kamaha. That's what happens. So, this is second purushartha. People want to have some pleasure. That is why so much tourism is there. In fact, now they say every tourist spot is crowded. Badrinath, Kedarnath, of course there, but any place, Kodaikanal, Uti, all. So people want some pleasure. That is called Kama Purushartha. Third is Dharma Purushartha. We want some Punya currency so that my future will be better. Future in this life and future after the death of this body. That is called Punyam, which is also called Dharma. Dharma has got another meaning. Dharma means righteousness, doing what is to be done. That also can be Purushartha for a sensible person. Conformity to values is a Purushartha. And these three Purusharthas are the Purusharthas which keep most of the people busy. But Shastra draws our attention to the fourth Purushartha called Mokshaha. Mokshaha means freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from my dependence upon the world to be happy, peaceful and secure. And that is called Mokshaha. And Shastra says, really speaking, everybody wants moksha alone. Since they do not know how to get moksha, therefore they are ending up with this Purushartha called Dharma, Artha, Kama. That is why moksha is called Parama Purushartha, the highest human goal. Why? Having attained which anything need not be attained. So, three Purushartha we resolve into Moksha Purushartha. And afterwards we discover that moksha also really need not be my goal. When you study Vedanta enough, Shravana, Manana, you do enough, then you get the conviction that moksha is not my goal. Why? Because moksha is my swarupam. Freedom is my nature. I by nature am free. Aham nitya muktaha. And since I am nitya muktaha, ever free, therefore moksha is no more a goal of life. In fact, that is one of the contemplation person does. Moksha is not goal of life. I am no more a mumukshu. I don't require any sadhana for moksha. Bondage was only a notion, and now the notion is gone by knowledge. Therefore, I am free. I do not desire to be free. The very desire to be free shows that still I am considering myself to be bound. I am muktaha, etc. People study it, but that conviction takes time. Swami Paramarthanji nicely said, suppose I keep some chairs here and we declare, whoever is convinced that I am free, that person can occupy the chair. So they are attending classes for so many years, but still courage nahi hota hai. I add some point in that. We add a note. If you are really convinced, you sit on the chair. If you are not convinced and still you are sitting, there will be a current. So if you are really convinced that I am free, sit on the chair. But I have this some yogic power. So if you are not convinced and simply pretending to be convinced, there will be the current will be there. I tell you, hardly anybody will sit. Conviction that yes, I am free. Not that, Swamiji, I am free when everything is going okay. One person told Swami Paramarthanji nicely. He says, Swamiji, generally I am Advaiti. I believe in Advaita. I and Ishvara are one. But when problems comes, I become Pakka Advaiti. Prahimam, Pahimam, that happens. That is what. So I am Muktaha when everything is okay. Breakfast is over, and weather is okay, then I am Muktaha. But when somebody is shouting at me, some financial loss is there, still, am I Muktaha? That is what his conviction is. So when you have understood that moksha is my nature, then moksha is no more Purushartha. You don't go to Bhagavan and tell Bhagavan, give me moksha. In fact, what will you say, Bhagavan? Thank you, Bhagavan, for making me discover I am ever free. That will be your approach. You don't ask for moksha. You don't ask for something which you already have. Do you ask Bhagavan, give me one nose? No. Do you ask? No. Give me 2 eyes? You don't ask. Give me 2 ears? You don't ask. Why? You already have. So, conviction is that I am ever free. Therefore, all the 4 Purusharthas are dropped. So, what is real freedom? When you do not have anything as to be gained, including moksha. Otherwise, people will be vulnerable. See, person is struggling for moksha and not getting. Therefore, if somebody says, see, I will give you moksha in 3 days, you will fall for it. If somebody says that I am going to conduct a program, 3 days moksha. In Bangalore, few years ago, one person had come and he declared that realization in 3 days. And many people went there. So similarly, we say moksha in 3 days, people will fall for it. It means what? I do not have the conviction I am free. So all 4 purusharthas are dropped for me. Now in the next, the Chidananda Rupa Shivoham is common. Now in the next shloka, further some negation is done. Na punyam na papam na saukhyam na dukkham na mantro na tirtham na veda na yajñāh. Aham bhojanam naiv bhojyam na bhokta Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Please read. Na punyam, na papam. For me, there is no punyam, there is no papam. What is punyam and papam? Punyam is invisible result of the actions prescribed by the scripture. Shastra vihita karma janya adrishta phalam punyam. Invisible result of the actions prescribed by the scripture is called punyam. What is papam? Invisible result of actions prohibited by the scriptures. Shastra pratisiddha karma janya adrishta phalam. In Sanskrit, those who are fond of Sanskrit. Shastra pratisiddha karma janya adrishta phalam. Invisible result of the actions prohibited by the scripture. Shastra says, Suram na pibet. One should not drink alcohol. And if one drinks alcohol, it is called prohibited action. And the invisible result of that prohibited action is called papam. Shastra says, don't kill anyone. Then one kills. Then it is, the result is papam. Punyam is what? You do some sharing, which is prescribed by the Shastra, then you will get invisible result. That is called punyam. Here people argue, what? If punya papa all are just beliefs, you show me punyam, show me papam. Punya pap batao. If punya and papa are adrishta phalam, they are invisible. Invisible, how will I show? And therefore, you should not argue with the people who do not believe in Shastra. Punya and Papa are based purely on Shastra. We can give some supportive logic, but not proving logic. There are 2 types of logic, supportive logic and proving logic. For the Punyam and Papa, we can give supportive logic that, see, when person does something and nobody has seen, so he will not be punished. But isn't it moral order demand that person should be punished? Therefore, Shastra talks about that even if person is not seen, person is not caught, but since he has done wrong thing, he will be punished because of the papam incurred by the action. So we have got some supportive logic, not proving logic. But those punyam and papam do not belong to me. Belong to whom? Karta, jivaha. They belong to Karta, the doer. I am not the doer, therefore punyam is not there, papam is not there. Na saukhyam na dukkham. Saukhyam means sukha, happiness. Dukkha, unhappiness. Happiness and unhappiness do not belong to me. Happiness belongs to Anandamaya Kosha, Dukkha belongs to Manomaya Kosha. And I am what? Navai Pancha Koshaha. I am different from Pancha Kosha, therefore they do not belong to me. And various sadhanas, mantra, tirtha, veda, yajna. Some mantras to be chanted, Gayatri mantra people say, or Mrityunjaya mantra. Tirtham, the holy place like Haridwar, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Rameshwaram. Vedaha, all four Vedas, Rig, Yajus, Sama, Atharva. Yajnaha, the ritual, Ganapati Homa, Navagraha Homa, all the yajnas. So here, Shankaracharya ji is telling, all sadhanas are required for Chitta Shuddhi and Jnana Prapti, but none of them is required when I understand that I am Nitya Muktaha. So one has to do the sadhana and one has to outgrow the sadhana. You enter, learn, get what is to be gained and outgrow. Enter, grow and outgrow. And therefore here also it is said, for me no more sadhanas are required. Because I am not a karta, I am not a bhokta, and I am purnaha. Therefore all these things are not there for me. All of them are only for karta. I am not a karta. And I am not all the three factors involved in every experience. Bhojanam, bhojyam, bhokta. Bhojanam means act of experiencing, act of eating representing act or the experience. Bhojyam means the object of experience. Bhokta means the experiencer. So, bhojanam represent experience, bhojyam object of experience, bhokta the experiencer. This is the triad in all experiences. And here Shankaracharya ji says, I am none of them. For me, there is no bhojanam, because bhojanam is happening at the body, mind, sense complex. I am dissociated from that. I am not the bhojyam of anyone. Body can be bhojyam for some animal also. I am not. And I am not the bhokta. I am not the one who is sukhi or dukhi. Who am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Now remaining two shlokas we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.